Good day, God bless you. Welcome back to the channel, guys. This is Tip2Tip, and I am your host, Zach. And today, it is running late. It's like 7:30 p.m. or something, and I'm like, oh no, I forgot to go on the bike. And earlier I was thinking about going on, and I was like, oh, I'll do it right after this, or I'll do it right before I do that. And this goes back to me saying, anytime, and this is where you got to catch yourself, anytime you see yourself delaying action, when you say to yourself, oh, I'll start losing weight Monday. That's got to be just a 5 alarm fire go off in your head that says, I got to do something now. And there's a million things you can do, but you have to do something, and you have to do it now. Get these keys out. So, having my list written down is helping a lot. I don't do them all every day, and I added a few more things today, but it's just a big list of things you can be doing. Like I always say, drink water. If I ever even think of drinking water, which we'll get to how something we're going to talk about to help develop these habits, but if I ever even think of drinking water, I just take a big jug of water, up to like even a whole 16-ounce bottle, but usually just a mouthful or two or whatever. Go for that walk or do something, go to wrestling, go to jujitsu class, or go to yoga, or go to hit the gym. I mean, if you're a good gym goer, and you don't need to push yourself at all at over 50 years old, probably over 40 years old, you don't really need to push yourself. Like, you can challenge yourself, but you don't need to kill yourself in the gym. So let me get back to how do I remember to drink water then? How do I remember to go for a walk? How do I remember to stretch, do my balancing? Like one of the things I like to do now is just knock out 20 push-ups. Or even like on your knees 20 push-ups, or against a bench or against a wall 20 push-ups. Just anything to work some strength. Do some balancing, like stand on one foot with your eyes closed. It helps, your equilibrium from recovering from a stroke. Tightrope walking on the floor like you're doing a DUI, heel to toe, heel to toe. Drink water, go for a walk. Meditation, stretching, read the Bible, pray, breathing. How do I remember to do those things? Okay, here's the thing, and it's talked about in a book that I've mentioned before, and I can't think of the name of the book right now, but it's called Habit Stacking. It's probably in a bunch of books, probably in 100 books. But when one of your normal like say wake up, like you cannot avoid your habit of waking up, and so when I wake up, I immediately think about drinking water, and when I drink and when I drink water, it makes me think about physical activity, and it makes me think about eating right, and this habit stacks with normal habits. Okay, so let's say you're going to use the bathroom. How many times a day do you use the bathroom? Let's just say 5 times a day you urinate. Okay, and you want to do 100 push-ups a day. Boom, there's your habit. Hey, hello, thank you for checking me out. Just going live a little late here, got this odd angle because I'm riding on the exercise bike right now, but talking about habit stacking. And so I feel myself about to need to use the bathroom, so I'm going to knock out 10 or 20 push-ups and then use the bathroom. And so that's a habit stack of something you always have to do. But it's got to be, you have to remember it. You have to attach it to it. So I attach push-ups to bathroom, and I attach water, for example, to thoughts of eating, and it doesn't even have to be time to eat, because I want my body to think to drink water before it thinks to eat. So let's say it's 2 o'clock and I had lunch at 12, and it's not dinner time yet. I don't really want to have a snack. It just reminds me to go drink water. And even if I do have a snack, at least drink water first. And then with your meals also. Before breakfast, drink water. Before lunch, before dinner, drink water. So stacking those habits. And so a lot of books talk about it, and I'm terrible at it. I'm actually sitting right next to my bed right now. It's my comfy blankie. I'm terrible at making my bed, although it would only take me about 1 minute because I just have the fitted sheet on there, a pillow and a comforter. It would just take 1 second to make it, but a lot of books talk about making your bed in the morning, and it seems so insignificant but it's setting the tone of that you're gonna do it. You're a conqueror. You're a winner. You're going to achieve something. And even talking about it, maybe I will start making my bed because he said, turn off that light. It's making me quite mad. Let's check it out. Oh, my foot came out of my bike. Yeah, let's turn that light off. Oh, there's a little night light back there. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can prop up my camera with something. We can get rid of that light. Pretty much. There we go. Kinda, sorta. So guys, I keep forgetting to just thank you guys so much. 100,000 subscribers. Been 3 years. I'm down about 30 pounds. Need to lose tons more weight. And so back to the habit stacking of let's yeah, they're talking about let's turn to God. The Seasons.org explains the whole Bible. God bless. Yeah, I'm not going to promote the Seasons.org, but I'm not going to bash them for sure. Everything I've studied with them so far has been accurate, in my opinion, as far as how do you study the Bible, which, how do you translate it to the original language? How do you look up what these words mean? How do you study the figures of speech and the idioms and the ideologies and how do you know what's really being said? Is this poetry? Is this actually the name of somebody? Does this word mean something? That commenter is just talking about switching to God, and that brings up another point. This commenter says you look like a beautiful lesbian. Thank you so much. They can be very beautiful. Not necessarily inspired by the Word of God, but I love everybody, and I let God be the judge. I can judge what I think's right or wrong, but I don't think I can judge who is right or wrong. So the habit stacking. So the baby was a little crying, and we had eaten an hour or so ago, and I don't know, it just flipped in me. It's like, oh my God, I forgot to do. We went walking today, but I forgot to ride my bike, so I was like, let me go just get that bike in there, and then so stacking the habits was like, well, why don't I just go live while I'm on the bike? Because I have 2 YouTube channels. It's difficult. One of them's an outdoor channel, and the other one's this one talking about lifestyle, diet, fitness, exercise, Jesus. Not really politics, but somewhat with finances, and so to come up with new topics, and obviously I'm a amateur vlogger at best. I don't have fancy camera equipment or fancy editing equipment, especially going live. I don't edit it at all. Just hit the button on your phone and go live. So I'm not trying to impress anybody. I'm just trying to do the best I can. Trying to, and talking about like diet and fitness and exercise and money. I mean, none of those things are even remotely important compared to the Word of God. It kind of reminds me to like, if you're arguing with your wife about money, it means you place money above your wife. Because if you didn't, you wouldn't care about the money. You'd care about your wife. You'd care about maintaining the relationship at the highest level you possibly can, and let the chips fall where they may. I mean, money is money. It is what it is. It's good. It's evil. It can be used for good. It can be used for evil. I can't find a single Bible verse that says get money, get rich, do what you can to get paid. When they asked Jesus, should we pay our taxes to the church or to Caesar? And Jesus said, give me the coin. And they gave him a coin. He said, whose picture is this? And he said, Caesar. He says, render unto that which is Caesar's, render unto God that which is God's. And that's what I plan to do. Follow the words of Jesus Christ. And as that relates to the channel, it's like, place the important things first. Of course, your health is important. I mean, your health. If I had to say I want to be healthy or I want to be a billionaire, it would take me 0.0001 seconds to say healthy. Like, there's no amount of money is worth, sickness and disease. And so, especially having had a stroke, it's like I'm doing everything I can to maintain my health and get my possibilities of long-term survival down. The Bible was, um, yeah, that's I don't read that anywhere. The commenter says it was plagiarized from other religions. I definitely have done some research on how that can be said. And like the Bible declares, if you want to believe something, go ahead and believe it. It's going to be on you. You're never going to say, well, you're never going to get to the great white throne judgment after the 1,000-year millennium, and the great white throne judgment after that, lake of fire right after that, and they start interrogating you. Let's say God is the judge, and you're on trial, and they say, well, what happened? Why didn't you do good? You say, well, Zach said this. Nope, that's not gonna fly. One, because I'm not trying to convert you. I do want to convert people to Christianity, but I'm not trying to tell you exactly what to believe, exactly how to think. I would love to tell you how to study, that you should study, what you should study, the Word of God, and use Bibles and dictionaries and Strong's concordances and whatever you can do to interpret the Bible and the Word of God as accurately as possible. But I'm not trying to answer for you. I've read, going back to this commenter, the Bible was plagiarized from older religions. Like what religions I would specify was it taken from? Because if you look at, like, let's just take Ishtar, the god of fertility in Europe, in some of the not atheists, but what would you call them? The barbarian tribes of when the children of Israel migrated there and the Christianity became popular. And of course, there's no word Easter in the Bible, but if you look up the Bible now, the word Easter's in there. And it was like, well, were they taking that religion and adding it to the Bible? It's like, yeah, they kind of were. They were trying to convert them to Christianity by saying, okay, we'll celebrate your Easter instead of Passover, and we'll celebrate Passover, and you can have your bunny and your eggs and your rapid reproduction, quick like a bunny, and we'll convert you to Christianity. But then what happens is you got millions of Christians celebrating the Passover with a bunny and eggs. This is in the United States. Can you put a price on peas? Well, price is an interesting topic, to not specifically talk about money, but the price of something, like what physical labor, what intellect was involved in you eating peas. Peas sell, but peas sell, but who's buying? Exactly. Well, that's a song by Megadeth. What'd I do? Let's see. Vince Jackson, 7601. Trump is the greatest of all time. Yeah, I could see people believing that Trump is doing his best to right the ship in America, but if you read the Bible, God's plan's going to come to fruition exactly as it's written, and evil's coming. But after that, Jesus is coming. Answer my text on... I must have missed yours. Sebastian. Okay. Meg. What do I mean? I don't... What do you... What do you mean I don't believe in God? I talk to him every day. What do you mean? Oh. Shout out my buddy Hugh. What's his last name? Janus. Thank you for watching the video. Moses had, I think it's supposed to say, schizophrenia. Greetings from Scotland. Welcome so much. I actually have the Scottish Declaration of Independence, and an excellent resource in researching the Word of God and studying where all His people went. What do you mean I am? Peace out. Yeah, you're trying to sing that Megadeth song. Peace sells, but who's Brian? Yeah, I like it. Humans created all spoken languages. Yeah, that could be. The Bible isn't very clear about what language was spoken, although it seems obvious they spoke Hebrew in the Old Testament because that's what they wrote it down in. But, something interesting. Well, first you have to study about the canonization process and what words, what books even got put in the Bible to be considered the Bible, because there was a lot of other ones that weren't. But that they didn't even start writing the Bible. Like Adam didn't write the Bible. Didn't even get. Adam lived to be what? 1,900 and how old did Adam live now? Let's just say almost 1,000 years. No, 120 years. He lived to be 120 years, and he didn't start writing the Bible before he died. So think of all that history went by before the Bible even started getting written. Everyone spoke Finnish. Yeah, I'm on an exercise bike right now, but that was work something out in the future. Guys, we're getting past the 15-minute mark, which is making it easy to ride this bike, but it's reminded me on my habit stacking to ask you to please like that video, like, share, subscribe, comment. Don't be afraid to hit that. Give me that super thanks. Can you hype a live video? I think you can hype this, guys. It's free to hype a video. Should be right along where like the super thanks and the thumbs up, and you scroll to the right and there's a hype button. It's free. I think it's free like 3 times a day or so many times a day or a week. I've never paid for it, but I hype other videos of people I subscribe to. Just helps up the algorithm. It's for small channels between 500 subscribers and 500,000 subscribers. And then it also kind of let me finish my statement. I'll get to this question, but the hyping helps the algorithm, boost smaller channels, but it also shifts away. Like if they start hyping, they'll take like the top 100 videos, let's say, and the number 1, it'll start mattering less, and the number 100, it'll start mattering more. So it just lets the smaller creators get out there with the hype button. So like I said, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, hype that video, please comment. This one says, what kind of music do you like to listen to? And did you used to have long hair in your youth? First, I'll answer the second question first. Is yeah, I had blonde hair, long flowing blonde hair. I'll show a picture of it on the thumbnail here. Someday if I can dig one out. I don't think I have a very clear one because I was young in the 80s, like when I was a teenager. Then I turned 20 in 92, so by 90, I joined the military in 95. So I had already shaved my hair. I shaved my head bald before I went to the Army because I didn't want them to have the pleasure to take all that long hair off. And so what music do I like to listen to? So I'll be honest first, because I'm honest with all my children. My actual children, my 6 children, my 5 that are old enough to understand me, and my 1 I'll tell him everything too. All my alcohol use, all my drug use, all my perversions with sexuality and other things. But I mean, long hair is not a big deal to admit, but I'm just trying to admit everything. And yeah, I just had this long hair. I did my drugs, I drank alcohol, I partied, I smoked cigarettes, I ran the streets. I was a hellion until I was in a treatment center in 1990. Was the first time I went to treatment for drugs. And what's it called? The 10-step system. Step 1 was admitting we're powerless over alcohol and that only a power greater than ourselves could save us. And of course, you're on step 1 when you're in treatment because you don't even get to step 2 or 3. I was only in a 38-day inpatient program, but this commenter says you should have run on the treadmill instead, buddy. Probably better for you, but I don't know. I mean, at my age, to reduce the impact. But to go back to the 10 steps, and that first step is admitting we're powers of alcohol, that power greater in ourselves. So we had to try to define it. And at first I said I define the greater power as the collective group of people trying to better themselves. And I would still say that's a great group. That's not a power greater than myself, or I mean, it might be a power greater than myself. It's just not God. But by the time I got out of treatment, I don't remember the exact chain of events. But long story short, I gave myself to Jesus within a short amount of time. It seemed like a matter of months, maybe 6 months or something. I started going to church, and my life has been changed ever since. Been terrible, I've done good, bad, and ugly all the way in between, but what's this? Do you think about ever, or even more? So, I got a picture on my cell phone. I was in my 40s, maybe mid 40s, so maybe like close to 10 years ago now, but maybe 7, 8 years ago. I grew my hair back to about shoulder length, because right about the shoulder length it starts to curl up, and then if it gets really long, then it's kind of more like wavy, but at first it kind of curls right there, and I grew it to that point, and it took me a while, maybe like 18 months to grow it that long, and that was the last time. It's such a hassle, to have to get up and actually like do your hair to not look like a complete grease bag. What kind of lawnmower do you have? That one sounds like it's setting me up, but I will answer that. I live in an apartment, so we don't have a lawnmower and we don't do lawn care. There was something back here. Oh, the music, yeah. I started blabbing on about telling the truth to everybody about drugs and alcohol, and I forgot about the music. But I started out like just rock music, like if AC/DC was an old band, and Motley Crue back in like the 80s, where I started rocking. Led Zeppelin and Ozzy and all them kind of Black Sabbath and all them bands. But then eventually I kind of graduated into more, I was a big Metallica fan, which, take it or leave it. Oh, I didn't notice your name. I wish you boundless landscaping. Thank you so much. I'll take health before those things, but then those things right after. Perfect. Yeah, I graduated into like Metallica, and I started playing guitar somewhere in there, in the late 80s, early 90s, somewhere in there. And I played guitar for a long time. I was okay. Maybe I'll play a clip of me jamming on the guitar. Even like 5 years ago, I still played, but now I don't even have one. I just married with kids now and doing the whole little family again in this small apartment. Metallica had that Garage Days revised. What was it called? Back in like 1980. So I mean, I was too young when that first came out. I was only 8 years old, but by like 85, I was old enough I was rocking those out. I mean, I had long hair. I have pictures of me being 2 years old. I already had long hair because my dad was, like drafted to go to Vietnam that era, and so when he came back, they smoked weed, and they were the party type people. And my mother's passed on now. My brother's passed on, but my father's still alive. And anyway, they grew my hair long right away, and it never ever got cut until I cut it when I trimmed it, but I never cut it short until I joined the Army in '95. I did not play in a band, although I did do some band work with, like people would ask me to play in a band, but I really wasn't that good to, I would have had to practice a lot more consistently. I was good enough to where if I would have practiced more, I could have easily played in a band, but I couldn't hardly play any song like front to back. I wasn't any good at like solos or anything. I never took a music lesson. I don't even know the letters and the scales, and like I used a tuner, just an electric tuner. I don't even know how to, I'm not good at tuning a guitar by ear. So it was more just as a casual, pick it up for 10 minutes, jam on it, put it down. Straight out of Flabby. Yes, that is what we're working with. How did your father feel about military after coming home and going? Yeah, I don't know. He never talked about it much. He's got a little bit shorter hair now because he's getting up there in upper 70s, but he always had long hair. He was always a pretty good-looking guy when we were young. I remember my schoolmates, the girls, and always saying my father was a good-looking guy, and the boys saying my mother was a good-looking woman. And But yeah, he was kind of that 70s hippie, you know. Didn't agree with the war. Probably, I think it probably. I mean, World War II, there was pretty solid unity, but after that, the Korean War and then the Vietnam War, and then the country kind of seemed to be fed up with the shit by then. Crackable. That's hilarious. All right, guys. One of these days, somebody's gonna give me a super chat, and I'm gonna be blowing them up on here every day. One of these days, I should wake up in the morning and get on this bike. Of course, I'd have to put some shoes on because these pedals are crushing my bare feet, my feet with socks on. And just ride this bike and stay live all day and see if I can get me a super thing. So he did serve in the Vietnam War, or was not involved? No, nope. He got drafted to go to Vietnam, went to basic training, AIT, got shipped over to Germany, did more training there. He was over there in 71 in Germany and was getting ready. Who was the president? Was that Nixon in 71? I think that was President Nixon. And side story, my mom went to visit him before he shipped off and got pregnant with me, and she stayed pregnant with me all the way until she was like almost due and then flew back. So I almost was born in Germany. But anyway, he was actually got his shots and got on the plane, and they were getting ready to ship to Vietnam. And they sat on the tarmac all day, like 8, 10, 12 hours, and they couldn't figure out what was going on. And finally, they all let him get off. And that was when he signed the executive order, no new troops go to Vietnam, because going once was screwing people up so bad that they really weren't integrating back into society well. So they said, just don't send any more troops. Just keep making the same people go back. So you did... If you get gifted super chat, will you flow your hair back? Yeah, I think a super chat. How long are we talking here? Like ear length, or how long do we got to go without cutting it? I think we're willing to do that. We're gonna have to negotiate some time frames of how long I gotta grow it, because it's like I'm not gonna grow my hair for 3 years for $2, but maybe if the price is right, I could go so many months. Rocker length, man. If the price was right, I would, but I'm not gonna ask for that. And speaking of asking for money, I definitely don't want to seem like I'm asking for money for talking about the Word of God. For that, do not send me money. As far as the Bible talks about paying tithes, even if I was your main source of Christian faith, I would say you do not. The Bible does not say to send me tithes, because the tithes go back, which is tithe just means tenth, the tenth of your income, 10%, would go back. There was mentions of it before this, but not nationally. It goes back to the 12 tribes of Israel and the tribe of Levi. And in the tribe of Levi, they didn't have the herds or the flocks and the money-making machines that the other 11 tribes had. Ended up being 13 tribes, but besides that story. So the other 11 tribes were commanded to give 10% of their wealth to the tribe of Levi because they were the priests. So they served all the other tribes as priests. Hey, man. Yeah, as far as we know, Jesus had long hair. I think almost everybody had long hair back then, because hair grows long and there's no reason to cut it. Maybe it was difficult to cut. I know for me, I would way rather just have long hair just because I don't really care. But waking up in the morning and going to work, because I shower at night, I don't usually shower first thing in the morning. I shower like last thing before bed. And so I just get up and go, even though I've been on disability for 2 months and haven't even been to work. Hopefully we'll be off of that soon. I think for sanitary reasons, it's better to clean yourself and have short hair. The reason you may be right there. I'd have to do a little research. The reason we have short hair obsession for men is because of the Roman Empire. Oh, man. Now you got me super interested in that. Like, when and why did men start shaving their hair short, cutting their hair short? Um, I guess I don't know much about the dresses either, like, because everybody wore kilt, like, I mean, that just seems to be more modern technology. People didn't wear pants because there was no such thing as pants, um, as far as jeans and stuff. What am I doing? I'm riding on an exercise bike. Let's see if I can show a little bit of it. Got the baby's car seat there, got the bed there, got the bike. We're just in this tiny little apartment. Had this in the living room for a while before we had the baby, but now there's just, with the baby crib out there, we just have that next to the couch so he can be in there. So what else is on your mind, guys? Don't forget, hit that thumbs up. 2 things I hope you do. 3 things I hope you do. 1 is subscribe. But even more than subscribing, I think I'd rather have you like the video and comment on the video. Even if you just say, hey, don't talk to me. That just means I'm gonna comment, but don't comment back. So guys, that super chat though, let's just say I'll grow it. Let's how many inches? I'll grow it 1 inch for every $10. If that wouldn't be too expensive to make me grow it out long. But that'd be a conversation I had to have with my wife too. But she's kind of I treat her like my queen, and she treats me like a king. And together, I mean, we are a great team. We are the king and queen couple. We have our little Prince ZJ. I have my other 2 sons, Isaac and Alex. Difficult lesson. Let's see. How big is your family? What's the most difficult lessons you have learned about yourself while being a father? I have 6 children, so I had my first 5 children with my first wife. So I just have 1 ex-wife. Unfortunately, I did not. She left me. I did not intend to get divorced. I was going to raise them 5 kids and send them all to college, which the one that lived with me, I sent him to college. And so he's the only one that has the degree out of the 5. But I have 3 beautiful, intelligent daughters and 2 strong American men. All 5 are adults, or 4 of the 5 are adults, and the last one is like 16 and a half, and he's a stud. Played football in high school. He's still in high school. He quotes the Bible to me quite regularly. He's a great guy. And then I just got remarried a year ago, 14 months ago, whatever it was, 15 months ago, and we have a 4-month-old child. And, the question was, how big is my family, and what did I learn about myself as a father? And we're just always learning, about everything. But, I mean, as far as being a father, nobody listens to anybody, so I can't really give any advice, because you're not going to listen and do what I say anyway, and you're going to just have to learn yourself. But it comes with its regrets, for sure. Not regrets that you got married, not regrets that you had kids. Those things you accept as reality. Like, I could never turn back time. Like, well, what if you wouldn't have 5 kids? Would you be, a octomillionaire by now, retired? Like, yeah. Would you trade your life for that if you could? Well, knowing the 5, no, I couldn't. Never have known them, maybe, but knowing them, it makes it different. But I would say be honest with your children. If you tell let's say you're like me and you grew up drinking and doing drugs and rock star and just hell on wheels, and then you have kids and you act like golden boy that never did any of that shit, they're gonna find out you're bullshit anyway. So I was just honest with them all, and with my 3 daughters, it didn't work out great after the divorce. It was good at first for the first 2, 3, 4, 5 years, whatever, but eventually they kind of drifted away, because I get it, especially in America. You got to pick teams, and who's winning and whose fault is it, and nobody's winning in divorce, for one. Nobody. It's nobody's fault, because nobody's perfect. And what you want for them children is to have a mother and a father. That would be the most important thing, So when my 3 daughters, they kind of gradually quit talking to me over the course of years. Now they never do. But my oldest son, when he was young, he came home and he was playing on his computer one day, and his mom was texting him, and he had just went over and seen her, like within a week, had dinner. He looks at me and he's like, why does she think I want to go over there and see her? And I don't blame him. He was kind of trying to do the same thing that they were doing. Take teams and pick sides, and he loves his mother. I said, dude, get off that. I said, get over to your mother's house, eat her shitty dinner, give her a kiss goodbye, and you'll be back here playing your video games in 2-3 hours. And he did. And a couple of years went by, and I said, guy, you're getting old now. You're just about a grown man. You can, I'm not gonna force you to go to your mother's. You can do what you want to do. It's on you. I'm not trying to force you to do anything. He just looked at me and he said, Dad, if I don't go see my mom, I'll be no better than my sisters. And he didn't mean like I'm better than them. He meant, well, for one, it's good for parents to see their children, and he knew it's good for children to see their parents. And so he wanted to be better. He wanted to be good at it. He wanted to win at life. And I'll tell you, he's the biggest winner I know. He's got a college degree, a job, beautiful girlfriend, his own place, his own car, way more money in the bank than anybody his age, most people his age have, coming from his background anyway. And so, what did I learn as being a father? Man, I'm just still learning. I wish I was better at it, I'll tell you that. I wish I didn't drink the whole time I was married. Wish I didn't, well, there's a lot of other things I wish I didn't do, but like smoke cigarettes or do drugs. But like as far as being married, I didn't really do those things when I was married, but I did drink. Wish I wouldn't have worked night shift, I'll tell you that. I had a job where I didn't have any chance. I mean, I would have worked day shift if I could, but for the whole time I was married, I was on night shift for 10 years. And it took me a 2 or 3 more years to get off night shift after the divorce, so. My guy looks like a New York mob boss. I don't know what New York mob, because of the shirt probably. I got to get that jumpsuit on. Beautiful words. Thank you for telling this to us. Thank you for checking us out. Guys, hit that thumbs up. We're going on. Let's see how many. Did I remember to hit reset on these kilometers? Where are we at here? Oh, I'm at 12.6 kilometers. I'm going kind of slow. What happened? Would have normally. Oh no, that's about right. Done like 38 minutes. We'll go to 15 kilometers and then we'll get out of here. But in the meantime, guys. Oh, the commenter's asking about my son. It's not so much what you do. It's not so much what you do. And definitely don't. I'm not trying to pursue money over anything else. Because, I mean, you read some of these financial books and yeah, they do say that. You got 10 haters, get 20. You want that money, get that money. Do anything for it. Do anything for it. No, don't. That will not bring you happiness. The richest man in the world, what does he do? Can you answer me that? What does he do? Because I'll tell you what he does. He works. That's his life. That's his God. That's all he ever does. It's all he'll ever know. And it's all he'll ever do. And he'll probably drop dead working. And no, that's not what I'm talking about. But, so, I did give him a little head start. I gave him my car, which was an older beat-up Toyota, but it ran great. He still has it. It's going on like 200,000 miles. And I gave him $10,000 that I didn't technically give it to him. He had saved it up in his investment account. And a lot of times he would say, instead of buying me a Christmas present, just put money in my account, or instead of buying me a birthday present. And I gave him allowance. I gave him like, I don't remember what it was. It wasn't that much, but let's just say 10 or 20 bucks a week. And he would just invest it. And it all started when he came home from school one day, and he was pretty young. I don't know, maybe 3rd or 4th grade or something. He already lived with me. I can't remember how old he was. Might have been 5th grade, but came home from school and he's like, hey, a friend of mine says he buys stock, and he had named a certain stock. And I was like, well, I'll tell you what, I'll just open another account in my name, and it'll just be for you, because I didn't want to try to open one in his name. And then when you get old enough, you just open that same account, and then I'll just transfer it to you. And so that's what we did. And So when he turned 18, he actually moved out before he went to college. He had done some college in high school because he was way advanced. He was like in calculus and trigonometry and stuff. He actually tutored high school math when he was in grade school. Anyway, so for the last couple of years of high school, he was taking college courses, so he had a lot of that done. And then when he moved out, he had the car and the money. He got his college degree. He just got like a 2-year computer science, information technology degree. And no, not something like that. Anyway, so I asked him if he still had that 10 grand because I couldn't afford to give him any more. And this was years ago already. He had a few years ago. A couple of years ago, he had turned that 10 grand into like 45 grand, and he never used any of it to put himself through college. He just worked and paid college as he went, and he did a lot of it online, and he worked it out because he had a full-time job. So he only had to go to college, let's say a couple days a week, once or twice, for a few hours, get his stuff, do his work, talk to the people, turn in things, get a bunch of work. Yeah, I'm talking about what did you learn as a father, and well, I learned what not to do as a kid. So I taught him the opposite of what I did. And I can't take credit for that he did it, but he did. And I think I can take the credit for I did discipline him. I'm not saying I'm the biggest advocator of you have to spank your kids, because people just go way overboard with physical abuse of their children. Physically disciplining them when it's not really discipline. You're just mad and you're hitting your child and you're calling it discipline. For one, I spanked all my kids. Well, not all of them. The one was only one when we got divorced, so I never spanked a child under that age. The next one was too little also. She was maybe only 3 or something. But the oldest one I spanked a couple times. And this oldest boy, he's the second oldest. I spanked him once. And it stuck with him so strongly that he was just extremely disciplined for his entire life after that. And if that's what you can do with it, like, don't be mad, talk to them, explain to them. Let's just say that I wanted to run off a cliff onto a jagged rocks 200 feet below. And then some big dude comes out of nowhere, tackles me, beats my ass, and drags me off in the other direction. And then I grow up and get mad that he did that to me. That's kind of like what discipline is to me. Like, if you let kids do what they want to do, they're going to be running in a freeway. You let an 8-year-old boy do what he wants to do, that's going to be child abuse to me. Because what they want to do is nothing good. They want to eat nothing but junk food. Nowadays, thank God we didn't even have technology when I was a kid. We didn't have cell phones. We didn't even have cable. We didn't even have microwave ovens. I mean, we didn't have cell phones at all. The internet didn't even exist. Think about that. Think about the life I grew up in. That was way better. You look like John Elton. Is he even still alive? I don't know if I guess I can see that with the glasses on. These are still fairly new to me. I just got these glasses. They're like reading glasses. I really don't even need them unless I'm looking at small print. So now I kind of need them. I can't see that small print. It said, what a smart guy. Man, he's smarter than I was. I didn't know that he got assassinated. I thought he died in a plane crash or something. All right, we're getting up to, we're close to our 15 kilometers. Wow, that really flew by. Anybody out there wants to give me that last thumbs up, that last super chat, where I can praise your name. When I go live tomorrow, the first thing I will say is your name. And then if the other guy wants to donate for the growing the hair, although I do not really want to do that. I do not want to grow my hair. I actually, like I was talking about getting up and going to work, I just love it. I like having it so short that I can just go to the bathroom, brush my teeth, wash my face, wipe my hair down with my wet hands, washing my face, and be ready to go. Throw them. A lot of times I'll go to work just with a pair of shorts and a t-shirt like this, even in the winter. Yeah, Randy Rhoads. Oh my God, he jammed so bad on guitar. He was a little after I even started playing guitar, but um, he jammed so hard. What was that? One of them Ozzy Osbourne songs where he really ripped it. Oh, I almost want to start singing it. Ha ha ha! No worries. Keep your hair short if you dig it. Yeah, maybe when I get older and we're retired in the Philippines, out in a tropical paradise somewhere on the beach, enduring some earthquakes and typhoons in the meantime. But otherwise, awesome. My wife will let me grow some hair. Yeah, Crazy Train. No, that one was good. I speak guitar a little bit. Yeah, you know, when I wanna sit back and the commenter's talking about how young he was when he died, and then I'm 53 years old and I'm worried about dying now because I had a stroke, diabetes, overweight, high blood pressure, whatever. And I think to myself, well, one, nobody ever knows when they're gonna die. People walk out the door and die every day. Somebody just died as we were talking, young, healthy. They just tripped on something and bumped their head on a rock. Like it happens nonstop. Yeah, no more tears. That's the one I was thinking of. Yeah, of Zach Wild. He was right. He's right. I totally got the two names confused. How did I confuse Zach Wild when that's my name? The light in the window is a clock in the sky. Yeah, yeah. Then he jams it out. I never did learn how to play that riff. I might have to. I gave my guitar away just a few years ago because I had met my wife from the Philippines 2.5 years ago or whatever it was. Um, yeah, it's going on 3 years. It'll be January. It'll be 3 years. And I still had a guitar and a big half stack, and I jammed out all the time. But then I knew she was moving here, so we just got this little apartment and dun 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 dun. You even wrote it out in guitar. That is awesome. Yeah, see, that's how I learned guitar. I didn't learn guitar by like reading. I never took a guitar lesson except for like friends of mine showing me stuff. Like put your fingers here and put your fingers there. Oh man, listening to music, and then maybe a couple books, tablature books. Um, I'm a guitarist, man. Oh, my guy's jamming on the guitar too. That is awesome. Yeah, I will. God, how can I do it? Can I put a little clip to a video? I wonder if I can like upload a video to these comments of me jamming in the garage to some Master of Puppets. And I got a video of it on my phone from like 5 years ago. Some woman I was seeing had a son. It was we didn't really do anything ever. We went out to dinner like 2 or 3 times and that was it. But she had a son that played guitar and she was telling me he was trying to learn how to play Master of Puppets. And so I recorded myself playing some of it. I love hearing that you are still passionate at it still. Yeah, living in this tiny apartment, I'm just like above a little business where there's just little 4 apartments up here. It is tiny. This is a 2-bedroom apartment, but it's like the smallest 2-bedroom you've ever seen. What guitar did you have? Oh my God, you'd have to go back like 35 years, bro. You know how many? I had dozens and dozens and dozens of guitars. My last one though was one of my favorite ones a while back. I remember I had a nice Ibanez back in the day, but my more recent one was oh my God, was it one of the versions of a Les Paul? But not a Les Paul. It was like a knockoff of one. Oh, I can't remember now. I'd have to look it up. I think I bought it on Amazon and just had it shipped to my house. Like, it was a while back, maybe 10 years ago, but I played that one for quite a while. I had found I bought a half stack at a music shop. I actually bought both of those brand new because I had moved around a bunch of times too, and after the divorce and stuff. Oh, not so much the business downstairs. He's asking about bottom. It's my other neighbors because you can hear people talking in the apartments next to me, much less jamming on the guitar. But I thought if I got some good headphones and just jammed out on the guitar like that, it would at least keep me in practice. Because man, if you play guitar every day and then you don't play, it does not take long to lose it. Like your finger strength and even your muscle memory of how to move your fingers and how to coordinate it, the picking with the fingers. It comes back quick, but you do lose it quick. You definitely need to practice up a lot again. All right, guys, we are up to 17 kilometers now. All right, I got a few more pedals to go. Hit that thumbs up, guys. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Give me them stickers. Somebody got one sticker? I think that's 1 penny. I think that's the cheapest way to donate to a channel. Oh, there's 17 kilometers. Oh, my butt, guys. So I did my biking. So I can check that box. I have that little calendar every day where I can just check the box. So I drank some water. I got to write on there more like low carb, eat, low glycemic index. I'm not like a super carnivore or a keto, but I'm like eat whole clean foods. I eat fruit, I eat vegetables, I eat nuts, seeds, and berries. I eat meat and eggs. I also I just made a small homemade loaf of bread, and I ate like half of it. Looking at this product, Light Amp Nexus plugs into your guitar, and it's like amps in your headphones. Yeah, I didn't know that was what it was called, but I had heard about the ability to have that like all-in-one amp headphone that plugs into your guitar. So I'm definitely going to check that out. And I was going to say, the dude I gave the guitar to, there was a guy at work, and he already had a couple, but he was like, well, sure, I'll take it because it was a nice guitar. Well, then like a month or two later, this other friend of ours at work was like, oh, I kind of want to start playing guitar. And he had never played before. I was like, man, you should have told me. I would have gave my guitar to you. But the guy that I gave it to heard me, and he said, well, I'll just bring it in and give it to him. And so that guy has that guitar still. But I bet you if I asked him, hey, can I borrow that thing, or can I get it back, I'd just borrow it to him and never give it back. But like I said, guys, you stack those habits. Drink your water, go for a walk, ride your bike 17 kilometers, do your balance work, do some push-ups. Here, let's do some push-ups. Let's just like stack it all together. Just stay motivated. Let's see if my face can just go up and down. Oh, oh, All right, we gotta orient the phone better. No, my glasses. Oh, okay, that last one I did off my belly. Just get some strength work in. Getting some balancing in, like for my for recovering from the stroke. You can't really see my feet, but let's just say, okay, I'm up on one foot. Just doing this really helps me concentrate on my balance, which helps the cerebellum. This is where I had the stroke, is in the back of my brain where your cerebellum is. That's what controls your balance. And so look, I've been able to, I couldn't even stand on one foot for 1 single second when I had the stroke. And now I'm able to, I just stood on my right foot for like, I didn't even count, but we're supposed to go for like 30 seconds. Whew. Oh, those push-ups got me tired. How many kilometers or miles pedal each day? Well, you can see like I probably had a workout regimen younger, but I don't really now. I just did 17 kilometers on the bike, so I don't know what is that. I think 5 kilometers is like 3 miles, so 15 kilometers is like 9 miles, something like that. Let's say I did maybe close to 10 miles or something like 10 miles. Oh, what's a 10K is 6 miles? So yeah, probably did a little over 10 miles, 17 kilometers. Yeah, 10, 11-ish mile, right? But like I normally work out more. I do like try to get the most out of the workout, because at my age, I work 12-hour work shifts. The gym I work out at a lot is at my work. And so it's hard to go there when I'm not working, but when I am working, I can sneak in there on my break or before work or after work, and I'll just knock out circuits. Like the biggest bang for your buck is like, some kind of like squat workout where you're pumping your legs. some kind of bench press, especially like incline dumbbell presses or something like that, where it's really getting your chest and your shoulders and your triceps and just all in one. Same with deadlifts, but I don't do those anymore because they're just too shitty for your back. If I do them, I use like that oval thing so that I'm not really bending forward at all. I'm more sideways, and I use super light weights like 100 or 150 or maybe 200 pounds at the most on a deadlift type thing. But even bench pressing, I'll. Uh oh, what'd I do?